you just start us off with just some overall thoughts about the games today?
Congratulations to Coach Cooley and Georgetown. I thought they, coming into the game, I was talking to our guys about just how physical they play. And I thought we were able to come out and kind of, I say match the physicality, but we didn't let that bother us as much as I thought it would. I thought we turned the ball over, a little bit too much, which I thought was the difference in the game. But I thought our guys came out and battled, and fought. Great opportunity for us to get, some game experience against a team like Georgetown, and getting to coach against Coach Cooley, who I really respect and think he's doing a wonderful job. So again, I like the way we came out and battled. We got to keep that up, and if we do that, I think we'll put ourselves in good shape going forward.
For you guys, obviously a bit shorthanded at this point. Just how much did you feel like that kind of contributed to how things went at the start of the second half?
Yeah, I told the coaches as soon as we went in at halftime, I was like, man, I hope we don't, we're not gassed, and obviously being shorthanded. I thought, coming out of the halftime, it was one of those things where I kind of thought that, coaches getting on them in there, and they're going to come out and kind of put the pedal to the metal. And they got some easy baskets in transition off our turnovers, which I thought was the difference in the game. But we are who we are, and I hate that. People are always asking me about it, because we are shorthanded, but. We have enough. We have guys in there that want to play, and guys that are looking for opportunities. And so this is a great opportunity to evaluate the team and see guys that normally don't play as much as they are playing now. So I think it's only a good experience for those guys.
Was Georgetown doing anything different defensively at the start of the second half that kind of limited you to 1 for 11 shooting to open that half?
Yeah, so they became a little bit more aggressive in the pick and roll coverage, and I was telling Jeremiah to trust his teammates. Obviously he was kind of getting where he wanted to get in the first half, so you knew they would come out and be a little bit more aggressive. And so, but I did think we generated some open shots. We didn't make them. We had a couple of open threes. We hit the short roll, kind of kicked it to the corner. We had a couple of open threes. So we knew they were going to be a little bit more aggressive, try to take the ball out of his hands, and I thought he did a good job of trusting his teammates and getting the ball out of his hands. Like, now it's just up to us. We got to make some shots.
Free throw attempts, you had 25 tonight, converted on 23 of them. Obviously, Jeremiah's penetration caused Georgetown a lot of problems. Was there something that you saw on film that was something that you thought that you could exploit them, getting able to penetrate?
Yeah, you know what? Because they are really aggressive, and I wasn't sure how they were going to guard JQ, Jeremiah, and so I thought KJ Lewis would guard him a lot, and because he is aggressive, I thought that we have to play north-south and not east-west, and Jeremiah is pretty good at that. We were kind of, changing our angles on the ball screens a little bit late to kind of get their bigs kind of offline, and he was able to attack to get downhill, and so. But yeah, just because of how physical they play, when you play with teams like that, you can't be passive. You have to be aggressive with the basketball, and you have to play north-south. And I thought he did a good job of that.
And how has he adjusted just to your system? You're his third coach in 3 years, and sometimes you see players struggle with that. Yet his turnovers were high at the very beginning of their very first games against Syracuse, but consistently it has dipped. Is that just him simply understanding what you want?
We talk a lot. We watch a lot of video, especially with Jeremiah, just because he is the point guard, and he's super talented. But he's a very coachable kid. He wants to be coached. He asks a lot of questions, and so I think the first game was just a case of nerves for him. And since then he hasn't turned the ball over as much as he did since then. But yeah, it was just a case of nerves. He's not going to be a high turnover guy just because he handles the ball so well. He's low to the ground. He's strong. He can hold guys off, and so yeah, I don't expect a lot of turnovers from him. He had one tonight, 8 assists. So that's what we expect from him. And just talking to my athletic director, and we were, he has to play like that for us more consistently, and I know he will. you know, we're just getting some games under our belt. We haven't had a lot of opportunity to practice because we're down some bodies, and so these games for us are like practice, right? And so I think the more we get under our belt, I think the better we're going to be, you know, come conference time.
Coach Demetrius Lilly, you talked earlier about physicality and going against these Georgetown bigs. A player like him is vital, you know, in order to keep that physicality and compete against that. How much did those three fouls in the first half hurt him as far as his ability to continue to play with that physicality moving forward?
Yeah, you know, obviously that hurt him and hurt us because, you know, he's our best player. We need him in the game. But, you know, he picked up those early fouls, and I thought when he did pick up the fouls, I thought, you know, thought Steph Snag came in and played well for us and kind of held it down for us a little bit. But yeah, he's a guy that, you know, he got recruited. You know, he signed with Penn State, and so, you know, I think when he comes and plays these kind of games against this kind of competition, he's not wide-eyed. He's ready to play. He's pumped up. He knows he belongs, and definitely we missed him. But, you know, I thought he came back in and had a good second half for us.
Last question.
1-3-1 was fairly effective the first half. I thought it choked off their driving lanes. Second half, Matt came out, hit you 2 from the slot to the hole. And it kind of like, I didn't think I thought the effectiveness waned after that. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, we actually came out was playing 3-2. So when they did that, that was against 3-2. And we haven't practiced that much, but we just kind of wanted to give them a different look because we had played the 1-3-1 so much. So we have to practice that a little bit more. But yeah, we just try to keep them off balance a little bit. And you know, like you said, I thought the 1-3-1 was effective. And then we went back to it after that because, again, we just didn't have enough practice time with the 3-2. But yeah, we have to change defense, you know, especially when you have guys in foul trouble, you want to keep guys in the game. We're going to have to switch it up a little bit, and I felt we did a good job at it tonight.
Thank you.
Nice,
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.